Today I'm going to show you how to control the text using text editing controllers. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to read the text, how to change the text, how to clear the text, and listen to it all with confidence. Ready? Let's go. Before we dive in, let's do a quick recap. In the previous video, we learned what is a text field, how to do basic styling, how to change the keyboard types, and how to style the text field globally using theming. So now you already know how to show a text field and make it look good. Today's mission is different. Not how it looks, but how to manage the text entered by the user with text editing controllers. Let's start with a simple question. Why do we even need a controller for a text field? For example, here you got the text field on the screen and user is typing into it. Without a controller, that text stays inside the widget. But what if you want to read the value when user taps on a button like this, or clear the text when user clicks on this clear button, or set the default value when user clicks on this button like this? For all that, we need a way to connect the text on the screen with our Dart code, and that bridge is called a text editing controller. Think of it as a remote control for your text field. Here is what we will do. When user enter their name and tap on this read text button, we will grab the name entered by the user and display in an alert dialog. So let's start by creating the text editing controller, and let's name it as name controller to make it crystal clear about what it manages. Hit save. Next, to connect our controller to our TextField widget, we will use controller property of the TextField widget. And here we will pass the controller that we have just created. Hit save. Next, let's go to onPress event of the read text button. And let's create a variable called name, which will hold the name entered by the user. And now, to grab the name entered by the user, we will use text property of the text editing controller. Next, let's add a if condition to check if the name entered by the user is empty or not. If it is not empty, then we will just pass that name to show alert dialog method, which I have already created to display the name in an alert dialog. Hit save. And now let's tap on the text field, enter the name, and click on the read text button. And as we can see, the name that we have entered in the text field is getting displayed in an alert dialog. That's your first real connection between the UI and your logic. Now with great power comes responsibility. So when you create a text editing controller, Flutter allocates resources for it. And here is the problem. If you don't clean up that controller when you are done with it, those resources just sit there eating up memory, like a forgotten subscription you are still paying for. And this is where the dispose method comes in play. Every stateful widget has this method. All you have to do is write name controller dot dispose. This tells Flutter, hey, I'm done with this controller, free up that memory. So make this a habit. Every time you create a controller, immediately write the dispose method. Your future self will thank you when your app doesn't mysteriously slow down after being used for a while. Now let's level up. What if you want to prefill a text field? Maybe you are editing a user profile or want to show their current name. There are two ways to do it. First one, set the initial value when creating the text editing controller using the text property. Like this. Hit save. And now let's restart the application. And as we can see, the text field is now pre-filled with the text that we have set. And second, set it dynamically, maybe on a click of a button. So let's go to onPress event of the set text button. And here again, we will use the text property of the text editing controller to set the new text like this. Hit save. And now if I click on the set text button, we can see the value changes to the text that we have set on the click of a button. Both method works perfectly. Use the first one when you know the value upfront, and use the second one when you want to set the value dynamically. Now we are getting to the really powerful step. Controllers don't just let you read the text, they can even notify you every time the text changes, every single keystroke. Why this is powerful? Let me show you with a practical example, a character counter. First, let's remove the pre-filled text and create a variable which will hold the character count, and let's call it as count and set its default value to 0. Hit save. Next, let's override the initState method, and in this method let's set up a listener using nameController.addListener method, where we have to pass a function which will get executed for every single keystroke. And let's update our count variable inside this function using nameController.text.length property. And let's wrap this statement inside a setState method so that whenever the count variable changes, we can update our UI. Hit save. Next, let's add a text widget to display the character count. Like this. Hit save. And let's restart the application. Watch what happens. As the user types, the character count updates instantly, all happening in real time with no delay. This pattern opens up incredible possibilities. For example, live search that filters result as you type, instant form validation showing errors immediately, or autosave feature that trigger after user stops typing. The listener pattern is one of the powerful features of controller, and you will use it constantly in real applications. And finally, let's see how to clear this text. We already have a clear button. So let's go to onPress event of this clear button. And here we will write nameController.clear. Hit save. And now if I tap on this clear button, the enter text goes away. Super useful for search bar or forms where user might want to start over. We can also clear the text by clearing the text property of the nameController, like this. But this clear method is explicit and readable. And that's it. In the next video, we will see how to build proper forms in Flutter using TextField Widget. I hope you found this video helpful. Hit like and subscribe for more awesome Flutter content. Until next time, keep coding, keep learning, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coding!